Welcome back to DONSLIFE, welcome to the channel, thanks for joining today. In the previous video, we unwrapped my GMC Sierra AT4. We had a khaki gloss green wrap on there, which I think looked incredible. Unfortunately, somebody dented my rear driver's door. They also damaged the wrap. I contemplated replacing the wrap just on that door, and then we'd have a little dent to deal with down the road. However, the wrap fades over time, so the panels wouldn't match. So we had to unwrap the whole vehicle. And lucky for me, the person that caused the damage was raised properly. That's right. They left a note on the windshield of my truck and they actually reported it to their insurance, so it's going to be no cost to me. So stick around because I know you want to see this paintless dent repair performed on an aluminum door and see how it's all done. Let's go. Paintless dent repair often starts with scheduling an appointment at a certified body shop. They scan your vehicle, check for faults, and take detailed photos of the damage and the vehicle for reference. Afterward, the vehicle may be taken to a different location for the repair. Some shops handle paintless dent repair on site, others use partner facilities. Luckily, I got to document some of this process for you. So after we did the OBD2 scan and took all the pictures, we headed over to see Merlin at Impressions Paint-Free Dent Removal. Now Merlin was kind enough to let me film the process. However, I'm going to be doing the voiceover, so it's a good thing I have big ears, so I did lots of listening. Hopefully I don't get the details wrong. Once inside, we got right to it. Not like I did anything, just watched, listened, and learned. Merlin has been doing this for 30 years, and he's no stranger to dents. In our case, we're working with aluminum. Aluminum doesn't remember its shape as well as steel, so it requires more controlled pushing and often more finesse to reshape properly. Aluminum is stiffer and harder to manipulate than steel. The tools need to be stronger and more precise, otherwise you'll increase the risk of cracking or overstretching. You can even crack the paint if you don't know what you're doing. Thankfully, experience was on my side. We had all the right tools, lighting, and conditions to fix the door perfectly. Right now you might be wondering, why are we drilling through the side of the door? This has to do with access, the location of the braces inside the door, and this is going to give us overall the best result. As Merlin pushes the aluminum dent back out or up, it creates crowns that need to be tapped back down, essentially feeding back into the dent and leveling everything out. Don't worry, these are specialized tools and he knows what he's doing, although listening to it may be uncomfortable for some of you. My dent was across two body lines. Starting with the main one at the top, it's getting a lot closer, so now the focus is going to be below the main body line. Getting the body line corrected is a crucial step before moving on to other areas. Here's a good look at the bolts that secure the inner door brace, which is another reason why we went with the drilled hole in the side of the door. It is possible to make this repair by removing the door panel, but it will be harder and will take much longer. You must work slowly and patiently. Aggressive techniques used on steel could permanently damage aluminum. You can see him using smaller pushes and monitoring the panel movement very closely. Frequent adjustments of the lights to work with the body lines is also critical. To use Merlin's phrase, distance is definition, meaning moving the light away will help you see more. We're looking for distortion in the reflected light patterns from not only the rear door, but also the reflection off of the front door into the rear door. It might sound confusing, but essentially if any of these reflected lines look jagged, it requires further repair. Literally, it's a constant tug-of-war of pushing the dent up and tapping the crowns that are created back down. It also means that you have to keep going back, above and below the body line frequently. This really is a craft. Once you look at the various reflected lines from every possible angle and there's no more distortion, you're done. Now for some professional grade polishing to make it perfect. And why not add a layer of graphene coating for good measure? Now that Merlin successfully cast his magic spell and completed the repair, he paints the edge of the drilled hole and plugs it. Aluminum won't rust, but it's all in the details. Now the vehicle goes back to where it started, has the system scanned to confirm that no new issues have taken place while the vehicle was in custody. We are back in the DONSLIFE garage, and I'm thanking my lucky stars that this did not go through my insurance because it was a hefty bill. So thanks again to the person that came forward that caused the damage. Yes, it was inconvenient that we had to go through all of this, but I do appreciate that you did the right thing. So two things I want to remind you of. First, and most important, this is an aluminum door, which means that you need special certification and training just to do the repair properly. So that training and experience comes at a cost. Second, the number that I'm going to say is going to be in Canadian dollars first. So if you live in the US, for example, it's going to be a much lower number because our dollar in Canada just isn't as strong as it used to be. Okay, here it is. Before taxes, we have a bill for $848 Canadian. That's $614 US with today's conversion rates. Well, I'm sure happy I didn't get charged for that. Again, I thought this would be neat just to show you what a paintless dent repair looks like, at least how it's done here in Canada, in the province that I live in, and that's what I had to go through. It was nothing too painful, but it was inconvenient. Be better not to have to do it at all. Either way, it's done. The door looks great. If you found this informative, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.